As they say at our local flea markets, dig, dig, dig. Because you know, if you want something bad enough, you're going to have to work for it. This is a roundabout story about a 1948 Ford two-door sedan. Hey, hello, how are you? Welcome to Road Odyssey. I am Bert. Thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to all of y'all who have. So, this is a story about a barn find, which it's really not exactly a barn find. It's more of a kind of a well done, decently kept garage find. But it wasn't an easy find. It took a while. And negotiations for it and all that took a while too. So, but before I begin getting into this car, it being a 1948 Ford Sedan, let me give you a little bit of a background story. So first off, over the course of the last couple of years, I guess, I have been acquainted with Connie and Mike. And you know, I kind of met them because I like Corvettes and they have this pace car. So here they are real quick. Here is Mike and Connie on a very hot summer day at a car show. Here's their Indianapolis pace car. Kind of like the color scheme of this thing. So I met Mike and Connie by going to cruise-ins and car shows and just us crossing paths multiple times over since we live here in North Texas. Now, before I get into the barn find, we'll just call it that because that's fun and most of y'all understand what that means. So anyway, they have a 1927 Durant Star. So let me interrupt you for a second before getting to the 48 and tell you about the Star and the fact that they are in the middle of trying to sell it. If they can get it sold, they are hoping to get, I believe, a C3 Corvette, like somewhere between, you know, a 74 and a, you know, 79, something like that, maybe. So anyway, let's look at the Durant Star. General Motors was created by Mr. Durant, who actually ended up being very poor before he passed away. But he created the Star line of motor cars. And here's just some really neat tins that were from many moons ago. Thought you might like that. And this is a picture of what they have, the Star 6 Model R from 1927. I'm just going to let you see the car as it's driven around and give you some pictures and other video clips of this thing and just play a little music for you, let you absorb this car and see what it's like. Okay, I couldn't find this car on eBay and some of these other, little marketplace sites, but I found some old pictures of some from the past where they gave me some idea of the value of the car, and I really feel like their car is in very good condition and it's worth pretty much what they're asking for. They're currently asking about $15,000 for it. But like when I went to Hemmings, I couldn't find anything specific, but I did find this one on the 25 Star Model F Touring. And in this article, they talked about all of the stars, including the Model R. But nonetheless, this quote to me was very important. Private sales are too few to warrant the regular calculation of book value. A search of recent sales and dealer private listings online, as well as consulting with a specialist or an appraiser, would be the best approach for getting a value of this car. I did find this Durant Motors internet forum. I will give you the link below if you're interested in checking this thing out. Okay, now that we looked at the 1927 Star, let me tell you about this adventure with the 48. So this last weekend, I had a kind of an impromptu cruise in my town, and Connie and Mike showed up. Thank you to everybody that showed up, and we had some really interesting people drive by that I hope to meet up with in the future. We were talking a little bit, and they said, hey, you know what? We are going out into the boonies to pick up a 1948 Ford. And, they were kind of telling me about it. I thought, well, would y'all be upset if I joined you and maybe photographed and took videotape for y'all for Facebook and for my YouTube? They're like, heck no, come on out. And so I did. I went with them and wound through a lot of paths. So let's take a look at where we went. Number one, here's that. So we went through the forest and got to the house, and lo and behold, there it was. I lent a little bit of a hand clearing away and getting it on the trailer, just a little bit. Because I was photographing and videotaping and all that for us. But part of this story also includes the fact that the owner was a firefighter. He'd been a firefighter since the mid-70s, if not even a little bit before that. A Plano firefighter, had worked his way up to being a captain. And so since I had done firefighting down in Collin County also, we had some stories to share. And so that was, for me, that was just a wonderful time visiting with this gentleman. And not only that, I mean, he had an old Harley Davidson, Thunderbird, 3 Galaxies, 2 Mustangs, all from the 60s and 70s, of course. Believe he had some other old cars there too. But anyway, this dude was a firefighter, hot rodder, and he was just extraordinary to talk to. A woodworker, completely did all the woodworking in his house. It was phenomenal. So anyway, this was a lot of fun. Let's get into the car. This car has been derelict for 25 years. Has a 400 small block and a turbo 350 automatic transmission. The green paint on this car is not original, but it was a decent enough paint job that when this gentleman took it to Oklahoma to a car show, I do believe he won. So it had a nice paint job on it. Don't know the condition now, of course. And after bringing it back from the car show, they were so hot. And so they began putting a air conditioner into this, and they just never got it completed. Life happened, and that's where it's sat ever since. After getting the car up on the trailer, I was able to get up there, crawl around, and take some interior photographs and pictures of the trunk as well. We get done getting the car, they take me home and drop me off. The next day, Sunday, I meet up with them again at the Wolf City, Texas Cruise-In, where they had the car still on the trailer and for display. I have no idea what they're talking about on this screen, so I don't know. The car's got to be worth more than 15 grand by the time they get done with it. If they don't do a whole lot, maybe around 15 grand. As I went out, like here on Classic Cars, found several examples that were also hovering around 15 to above 15, such as this one here for about 34, 35 grand. And then in Hemmings, found this one, although it says it's a deluxe, so it's above 30 grand. So here again, Haggerty, they're just saying that their average price is around $15,000, but you know what? They could easily get 15 to probably around 30 at minimum out of this car once they get done fixing it up and ready to sell it. Okay, now that I've given you what guesstimated values have been in the past for the 1927 and the 1948, remember, these are best guesses off the internet, not an appraisal, nothing like that. So the values that I give have a lot of room for movement, especially in the car environment right now. The movement is going to be upwards. So especially with the Star, that thing is really rare. I had a very hard time finding good information for that car. Now, for the 48, the price ranges for that vary a lot. So, who knows? I hope they get these cars sold and reach their goals. And I wish them the best. I thank all of y'all for watching this video and kind of hanging out with me. I know I kind of drew it out a little bit. So I hope it was enjoyable and that you just have a great rest of your day. So relax, take it easy, and I will see you later. Bye.